Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today for this final presentation by our University of Minnesota Humphrey School students. And their presentation on, I think, the title formerly known as Measurement Matters. We've got a new title now for this particular presentation. We've been working with the Humphrey School students for the past probably 6 months now. It's been a while now. Started meeting with them late last year as part of the Resilient Communities Project, and spent a while coming up with a topic, something that they wanted to research and that we were interested in having them research for the Resilient Communities Project. Finally landed on researching the effects of the Bloomington Leadership Program. And I think we all agree that it's been a really fantastic experience, very interesting. We've learned a lot of things. So I'm so thrilled to introduce you to Ruby, Rachel, Annika, and Jason, who are members of the student team that have been working on this project. A special thank you to them. It's been a delight working with them, meeting with them every Friday morning and working with them throughout this project. Also, a special thank you to Noah Faldet, Nancy Brewster, and Amanda Crombie, who have been also meeting with the students from our city team. And we've just really, really enjoyed working with all of you. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to Amanda Crombie, who's going to tell you a little bit about the Bloomington Leadership Program, and then we'll hand it off to our student team for their presentation. So, Amanda.
Thank you. All right, I really hate following Diane because she's such a great public speaker with no notes, and here I am. Anyways, like Diane said, I was asked to give a quick overview of the Bloomington Leadership Program in 5 minutes or less. I'm going to try to do it less because we've got more important, interesting information from the students. But anyways, let's get started. Okay, so the purpose of the Bloomington Leadership Program is to promote civic engagement, develop leaders in the Bloomington community, break down barriers and increase understanding of how local government work, and most importantly, I think, build strong connections and relationships amongst participants. So the leadership skills are developed through educational sessions that are interactive, engaging, and fun. Right, guys? Fun? Okay, thank you. And it's over the span of 2 months. So some of the topics include Government 101, city services, boards and commissions, public participation, inclusive community, and leading in the community. So just some fun facts regarding the Bloomington Leadership Program. Since 2017, we've had a total of 4 cohorts. Our first cohort started in 2017 and was led by Elizabeth Tosman. She was our assistant city manager at that time, and along with other city staff. At that time, it was called Bloomington Learn to Lead Initiative, or BLE, and the group met for 11 months every other week. They accepted 37 participants into the program, and they graduated 35. So when Elizabeth left and some restructuring took place, the Community Outreach and Engagement team, which is my team, we were newly formed, and we were asked to take over the program. So my co-worker, Emily Larson, and myself volunteered to take over the program, and we were very, very excited. We did make a few adjustments to the program, I guess. Some of the things, because we really want to focus on the relationship building, we decided to reduce the number of participants in the program from 37 to 25. And then people needed to be able to meet the attendance requirement. We were very, very strict about that. You guys know that. And so that year, and then we met. It was 9 weekly sessions, and that year we graduated 21 out of 25. And then in 2020, you guys know, COVID happened, so that there was no session that year. And then in 2021, we had just virtual sessions. Again, with being COVID and all that, most of, I would say 90% of our sessions were virtual, and we accepted 20 people, and 20 people graduated. I think people just wanted to be connected some way, right? And it's like that. It was a really fun time, and we try to make it engaging, and you can see their picture down below. And then in 2022, we did half virtual and half in person, again with COVID and everything, but we decided for the first session to be virtual because first half of the session to be virtual because we really wanted to be building relationship and connections, and then the other half that once you build connections that we can really still be successful online. So we graduated 14 out of 21. Now you might think that that number is really low, but let me explain. So before the first session even started, I think 5 people dropped out, and because people moved to outside of Bloomington, and if you move outside of Bloomington, you can't participate. That was one of our rules. And then several people, we had a very strict attendance policy, 90%, which means that you can only miss one session. So people realized, uh-oh, I'm not going to be able to make it, so they dropped out. And so that left us with 16, and then 2 people along the way could not make the attendance requirement. And as sad as it was for us to ask them out or kick them out of their program, we did do that, and we left it at 14. And those 14 people were very, very strong, and they connected really well. So some accomplishments. So with the 4 cohorts, we graduated 90 Bloomington leaders, very strong, connected leaders. And so some of the things that they did during this time, and this is what Emily and I was able to get from people, so I know there were a lot more accomplished. They just were too shy or too humble to tell us. Okay, so we've got many who are currently serving on the city's boards and commission. We also have Samua, who is currently serving on our city council. We've got people serving on Parent Advisory Council, or PTSA. We've got a school board member, Director Matt Demick, is currently serving there, and he's part of the Bloomington Leadership Program. We've got many who are volunteering or serving on boards of VEEP, Oasis for Youth, League of Women Voters Bloomington, Bloomington Foundation. Anyways, there's a whole list. So they are very, very involved and active. Many are leading in their own neighborhoods or serving as block captains. And then I put down Facebook Guardians. Sometimes on Facebook you see a lot of things and there's misinformation, but some of our BLIP graduates would go on there and just make comments. It's like, hey, this isn't true, or if you need information, you can go here. So they've been a great advocate for the city. We've got people who write newspaper articles that keep our residents informed, and so much more. So to share the ripple effects or the impact for the Bloomington Leadership Program in our community, at this point in time, I would like to invite up the U of M students, Annika, Ruby, Jason, Rachel, to the stage. So let's give them a hand.
Thank you. Just gonna quick pause to switch over to our presentation here. Woo! Good morning. Thank you for being here. We know it's early. Again, it's a Monday morning, so it's a work day. We're just so glad you're here. As Diane said, we started working on this project in December of 2022. This is a project made in collaboration with the Resilient Communities Project. Mike is our main man for that. Hi, Mike. Look at Mike back there. Trooper came in today. Just before we start telling you all the things that we did and how amazing the Bloomington Leadership Program is, we want to thank so many people. Diane, Noah, Nancy, thank you for being our Bloomington team. We met with them every Friday morning. They stuck with us through just crazy draft reports. Then we have Amanda and Emily, our awesome BLIP team. Peter Brown, who couldn't be here today, but we're filming. Hi, Peter. Currently teaching a class. Peter is our faculty advisor, guided us through the entire project, which got us here today. Mike, of course, in the back with the Resilient Communities Project. Scott Chasden, who's here, who is one of the people who designed ripple effects mapping. Hi, Scott. He's in the back. Hello. And then, of course, all of the BLIP participants and alumni. Thank you for welcoming us into your space. We are strangers, strange grad students that came into your space, and we basically, got all of the information of all the cool things we did, or all the cool things that you did, and then put it into an amazing map. All right. Just to get started, my name is Annika. I'm a Master's of Urban and Regional Planning student. I'm graduating in the fall. I concentrate in community engagement and social practice art. Pass it to Ruby.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Ruby. I'm a Master's of Science, Technology, and Environmental Policy student. I'll be graduating in a couple weeks here. And I'm a Bloomington native. Well, I moved here when I was 13, but I went to Oak Grove Middle and Jefferson High School, so I call Bloomington my hometown. So nice to be back.
Hello, I'm Jason Paschall. I am a Master's of Public Affairs student, which is the mid-career program at the Humphrey School. My concentration is in race, housing, and equity. And my parents, who are joined today, they are Bloomington residents. They moved here in October of 2021 and are loving it. So I'm happy to do this project with them in mind.
I'm Rachel Benson. I'm a Master's of Urban and Regional Planning student. I'm concentrating in housing and community development, and I will be graduating in a couple of weeks if everything goes well. All right. So when our capstone group first learned about this project, we were immediately introduced to Bloomington Tomorrow Together, the city's 5-year strategic plan that was implemented in 2022. We learned that there were a lot of community engagement events that led to the creation of this plan. We were introduced to about a 200-page data book that just had community input in it, and we learned that that input informed the 3 objectives of the plan. The first objective is that community members will feel connected to their neighbors, welcomed and valued by the community as a whole. Second, that there will be significant improvement in the indices measuring the community's environmental and individual health. And third, there will be significant improvement in indices measuring equitable economic growth. Our group came into the picture at the end of November 2022, and the city asked us, can we somehow evaluate this plan? It's really important to us that we meet these objectives, but these objectives are also very open-ended. How do you measure whether or not community members are feeling welcomed, for example? Our scope then narrowed more in early 2023 to evaluate just one city program's progress in meeting the BTT objectives. So that city program was the Bloomington Leadership Program, also known as BLIP. And Amanda did a great explanation of what the program is, but we learned all about it. We learned it was a 9-week course. It was Housing Community Outreach and Engagement Division. The program consists of really passionate, committed residents who are really interested in bettering Bloomington. And they go through a series of courses, everything from Government 101 to doing a facility tour, to networking and relationship building with city staff and elected officials and nonprofit leaders, all in order to become better civically engaged, develop leadership skills, and increase understanding of local government. So when we learned about BLIP, we realized that it fits really well with Objective 1, welcoming community. It does, of course, touch on all of them, but we really wanted to focus our study on how well BLIP meets BTT Objective 1. So to better understand, our research question became, in evaluating the Bloomington Leadership Program, how can we provide a method and framework for the City of Bloomington to assess and evaluate the intended and unintended impacts of citywide programming? Additionally, how does the Bloomington Leadership Program meet or not meet the goals of the city's strategic plan? So to better understand the BLIP's role in meeting Objective 1, we're going to look at some contextual data. We want to know who are the community members here, where do they live, how has that profile changed over time, especially when we're talking about being a welcoming community, we want to know who is in that community. So we looked at some demographic data. To start, we looked at the percentage of residents of color by census block. Even in the last 10 years, there have been a lot of drastic changes. In 2010, I would say the majority of the census blocks were under 20% people of color. By 2020, there was a lot more diversity in each census block, and we also see a lot more people of color living on the northeast and eastern parts of the city. There could be a lot of reasons for that. Part of it is that immigration has gone up to the state of Minnesota, and Bloomington is a really attractive place to live given its housing opportunities and job access, especially with the Mall of America and the commercial corridors surrounding it. And then we also looked at percentage of renter-occupied households. This is by census block group, so it's a clump of blocks as opposed to just seeing the blocks separately, like the previous slide. And we looked at 2000 versus 2020. So again, there's a lot more diversity in housing tenure. There are a lot more renters that live on the eastern side of the city especially. Another demographic change that we saw, but I don't have a slide for, is that the population is also getting significantly older in Bloomington. So we just want to keep these demographic changes in mind when we're talking about being a welcoming city. We also have one more point of data, and it is National Community Survey data. Hundreds of cities use this survey just to get a benchmark on quality of life and livability. Residents will fill out over 100 survey items related to anything from mobility to economy to sense of community. So we found that there were 10 survey items that fit with BTT Objective 1. 3 of them are on this slide. And that data can also be broken down by sex, race, age, how long you've been living in Bloomington. We chose to break it up by ward because we wanted to see how each ward compared to the average score. So that black bar is the average score for Bloomington as a whole, and then you can see in the colored bars how each ward compares. So we saw that Ward 4 tends to fall below the average. That's also the ward where we saw the highest concentrations of people of color and renters living. Ward 2, alternatively, tends to score higher than the average score. And Ward 2 is also the whitest with the most owner-occupied households. So this all tells us a story. It tells us something to work towards. It gets at the question, who exactly is feeling welcomed in the community? And to understand that BTT Objective 1 is not a one-size-fits-all objective, the city needs to produce a more nuanced assessment to achieve its BTT goals, and that is where our methods come in.
Thank you. So when we talk about methods, we are looking to how are we deciding to evaluate the blip. And it begins with the literature review. And so we're trying to look at an iterative process that will give us some contextual and effective evaluation measures, while also providing an academic context around civic engagement and participation, equity and inclusion in city programming, our 7 community capitals, and the community capitals framework and impact analysis. And so we also, along with the academic framework of looking at this context of what effective measurement is, we also wanted to look at what are other cities doing. And so we did a comparative case study of other cities and their leadership and civic engagement programs. We narrowed down a list of over 50 programs to find some matches that were similar in focus and scope of the blip, as well as similar size, population, demographics of Bloomington. And we asked, and mostly the folks who were leading these programs, having conversations with them, we asked them, among other questions, like what are the goals of the program and how do you ensure that you're meeting them? Do you have evaluation metrics? What are the successes in community impacts of the program? How do you know your program is working? And what we ultimately found was that cities don't really robustly measure their civic engagement programs. And so that's where our next step comes in. And we reached out and in conversations with the Community Outreach and Engagement Division and our RCP partners, and they turned us on to perhaps being able to look at ripple effect mapping as a possible method to measure the impacts of this program. And so what is ripple effects mapping? So ripple effects mapping, which we'll refer to as RIM, is a group participatory evaluation method that engages program and community stakeholders to map a chain of intended and unintended effects from a program. This approach is collaborative and it's innovative. Essentially you get a bunch of participants into a room, have them share their successes, their achievements, what kind of relationships they have built, talk about themselves, talk about their accomplishments, and you map out their responses that everyone can see and contribute to. Mind mapping makes it possible to capture casually linked events in a visually and stimulating way. And the purpose is to look at how a program has made a difference in the community and how to use that information going forward to evaluate how that community is doing.
All right, let's talk about ripple effects mapping. Like Jason said, we've been calling it REM. Scott, I hope that's okay. So cool. So there's 5 basic steps, and this is what we've pulled from the literature, and we followed this, and we do have some adaptations. But to begin, you have to identify the intervention. Ripple effects mapping, like Jason said, was suggested to us. It's perfect for cases like these. Programs that have super complex impacts that are really hard to visualize unless you sit down in a room and talk to people. This works for programs that have sort of this like broad range of impacts. Ooh, that's fun. So we were like, yes, we're going to go with REM. So we scheduled it and we sent out the invitation. We scheduled it so that participants could come. We followed that same Thursday time that they had been used to for their alumni meeting. We did come to their first alumni gathering, and we were like, this is a perfect time. We have that 2-hour slot, 6 to 8 on Thursdays, and we were like, come join us. The kind of sweet spot is 8 to 20 people. We hit that 15 mark, and every single participant that signed up ended up coming, which I don't know if y'all do community engagement. That's pretty much impossible. So we were really excited when everyone showed up. Throughout the event, there's kind of 3 different steps. There's the appreciative inquiry interview, which is a 1-to-1 interview between participants where one participant acts as the interviewer while the other participant shares their experiences and vice versa. We had them do that, and then they come together as a group and they share, and we map it in front of them using XMind, which you'll be able to see a better picture of that map coming up really quick. And then there's the cleaning, the coding, and the analysis, which we used Excel for, as well as that XMind map. The process is super easy and it's useful. And it worked, and it's fun to look at. So some additional methods that we added. Like I said, we attended that BLP alumni event. We're strangers coming in from a university. We're researchers, which can be pretty intimidating if you don't know us first. Me, Jason, and Rachel went to this event. We had so much fun. There's a slideshow of fun pictures. We were doing goofy stuff. It was pretty awesome. There was a game of telephone, but it was like charades. It was crazy. We also added in interview worksheets. As people are talking to each other, they come up with things that you don't always get to share with the larger group. So we had everyone write down what their partner said, and we got these interview worksheets so we could have an alternate method of data collection. We also added in the Make Your Mark map, which is a participatory mapping process, which is pretty geeky for the urban planners in the room. We wanted people to tell us where they made an impact, so we added that map. They got stickers. Each person got their own color sticker, and they got to stick where they made an impact in Bloomington on that map. We also did the follow-up, which is a REM thing, but we added a dual survey follow-up method where REM participants got a specific survey asking, hey, you shared about your partner in the share out, tell us about your impacts. And then another survey that went out to BLP alumni that basically copied the REM event structure so we could have more data that was exactly the same and add it to that map.
Thank you. All right, so I know you're all dying to see the results. So first, this is the X-Mind map, and we actually coded this live in front of the group during the event. And so as people were sharing out what they heard from their partners, we were typing, joined a commission, volunteered at a local public school. And so originally, they weren't color-coded yet, they weren't grouped. These were all just floating bubbles around the center. Then we took about a 15-minute break. That's when participants did the mapping. They got more food. The four of us came together and we said, what themes are we seeing here? So we found 4 themes from the map. The largest was strengthening community involvement, followed by deepening engagement with local government, energizing new leaders, and gaining knowledge. And so during that break, we found these and actually moved them around. Of course, we've edited it since then, but so we were able to show the participants before they left just kind of a draft of what this map would look like. And so for strengthening community involvement, this was really a dominant theme that we saw. That's good because this is one of the goals of the BLP, which is to increase community engagement. And people mentioned that they were able to meet with a diverse group of people, enhance their connections, make new friends. And so this is really at the heart of what civic engagement and participation programs are aiming to do. And so that was great to see that result in the map. And so this is a recreation of that X-Mind map that we made just to make it a little bit more legible, so you can kind of follow a couple of the ripples out from strengthening community involvement. So if you go to enhancing connections, you see that people got more connected and were able to network and meet people in the community. They were able to organize things like events at holiday time. They were able to make connections to nonprofits and connect with the BLP coordinators. And so you can kind of just follow all these ripples through about how are they strengthening community involvement, in what different ways? And so the second most prominent was deepening engagement with local government. And so we can see that many of the people here were engaging at City Hall, meeting new leaders, and gaining the confidence to start inserting themselves into the local government process where they felt comfortable doing so. And so it gave them the confidence to engage with more city officials. And so here is another recreation of this branch of the map. And so you can see that, from deepening engagement, there's a huge part of participating in commissions and committees. And so you can see all the different commissions and committees that BLIP alum have joined since participating in the program, helping with the BTT strategic plan, joining the Charter Commission, helping with the World Expo bidding process. And so you can kind of just track and see these ripples coming out from effects of the BLP.
So in our initial pair and share, and later during the expanded interviews, many of the participants of BLIP all shared similar stories and what they have gotten out of the program, and it comes to empowerment and confidence that they found within themselves to be more effective leaders in the community. And if we look at the map here, I'm gonna do this. And so you have, if we talk about energizing new leaders, we come down to improving leadership skills, and we see it ripple to bringing lessons from the BLP into daily life. And then we can see, well, we use things in BLIP at work, such as the icebreakers, which we can see. And we can just follow these ripples all throughout and see how far they can go, utilizing the insights, increasing employee engagement. And this is a great method to really see how far the effects can be, and more importantly, these unintended effects can be. And so lastly, from our themes was gaining knowledge. And many participants discussed the positive effects of gaining a better understanding of how the city of Bloomington works. So what BLIP can do, not only is it engaging with this leadership and civic participation, but it offers the opportunity to peek behind the curtain of the city of Bloomington and give residents a look at what the city government is doing. And that peek behind the curtain kind of lowers the shroud, if you will, if I'm going to mix my metaphors, and demystifies what city government is. And that, in turn, gaining knowledge, is a cyclical effect of also then creating competence in able to engage with your community. So we have gaining knowledge, becoming more civically engaged and minded, we meeting new people from different cultures and backgrounds. We've talked about improving worldview, humanized understanding of community. Some really just great, large concepts that really begin to articulate how well this program is meeting the strategic plan of being a welcoming community.
All right, get ready. This is some size 0.4 font. It may look big on here, but it is tiny and I can't read it. So this actually isn't even expansive. The strengthening community involvement section was so large, there's actually an additional slide that doesn't fit on here. So you can just see how dense this is. These impacts are crazy. They spread. And we talked to 15 people. And our survey follow-up, 7 people. So considering how many people have graduated from BLIP, this is a fraction of what this map could be. And it's also, limited to the amount of time that we got to hear from people. Our share out time was about 15 minutes. So just take that into consideration. This is a minuscule part of how dense the impacts are. So obviously that map is beautiful, but what does it actually mean? How do we make this into data that could actually help the city see where they're doing well and what they need to improve? So REM coding typically involves this structure of the 7 community capitals. This is just an expansive way for cities to see how they're impacting their community. So there's financial, social, cultural, natural, built, human, political. Some of these are pretty understandable. So political, connecting with the mayor, having increasing connections with a police chief. Financial is anything that has to do with any sort of funding in the city. So starting a nonprofit or starting a business, anything like that. The main ones that are a little bit confusing are social, cultural, and human. So just to explain those, social is interpersonal relations. How are neighbors meeting each other? What kind of events are you hosting that is increasing that? So block parties or there was one thing, I think, Sherry, that was you, inviting people to art night? What was that? Yeah. Just the way you connect with people. Cultural is any celebration of values and heritage. So cultural events, historical associations, multilingual groups, anything like that. And human is skills-based. What skills do the people in your community have and how can they share them? So coding, this is kind of the boring part, but every single thing that people told us, we went through and we're like, does this fit financial capital? Does this fit social capital? And if they did, they got a 1, and if they didn't, they got a 0. We also added in the Bloomington Tomorrow Together strategic plan goals. So you can add things into this. It's super adaptable. You can switch out so you can see where you're doing well in the BTT, or you can keep the 7 community capitals and compare them to cities that are also using this method.
All right, so the BLP impacts were coded to the 7 community capitals, and as we can see, the most dominant were both human and social. 91% of responses had some sort of human capital impact associated with them. And then a close second is social capital, the relationship building that we saw through strengthening community involvement and deepening engagement with local government. And third, we have political capital, which also makes sense. A city program, you get them engaged at City Hall, a lot to do do with just the city council and planning commissions and things like that. So that makes sense too. And then cultural also had a pretty good representation, especially I know there was a couple people focusing on the Latinx community in Bloomington, and so they had a lot of impacts in that area as well. And so financial, natural, and built were the least represented of the 7, but that is okay because not every program needs to hit all 7. So, this is a community engagement program, so it's doing what it's supposed to do, and this matches the pattern that we saw in the literature. So we also coded it to the BTT strategic goals, as Annika mentioned. And so the dominant theme here was a welcoming community. So we can conclude that the BLP helps Bloomington meet the welcoming community goal of their strategic plan. It also contributes to a healthy community and equitable economic growth. But again, similar to the capitals, it's not as represented, and that is okay because you have many programs across the city. And so these are just what we found as a result of coding. And we did have 143 reported effects through the in-person event, and then in addition to adding in any additional comments we found from the interview worksheets and the surveys that were filled out.
In addition to the mind mapping of the 7 capitals, we wanted to also show geographically where these impacts were being made. Of course, a lot of the impacts cannot be physically placed on a map. If you're gaining confidence to advocate for something at City Hall, that's not something you can necessarily put on a map. But the city was interested in seeing where these impacts were happening. And so both at the event, the ripple effect mapping event, we had all participants put down their impacts, and then we also, in our survey follow-up, gave an opportunity for participants to use a virtual map, put a pin where they've made an impact, or write down an intersection or address location. So these are all of the impacts combined. We saw right away that Ward 4 actually had the most impacts, and this was really exciting to see because proportionately, Ward 4 is what needs the most attention to meet the BTT goals and also in line with the NCS data that we saw earlier. And then we also made a heat map just so we could see the density of the impacts. Unsurprisingly, a lot of these impacts have happened at City Hall, but we also see a lot of density on the east side of the city and around schools especially. There were 7 schools that were impacted. There were a lot of participants that impacted Kennedy Senior High. I also thought it was interesting around Valley View School. There were some impacts directly on the school, but also in the nearby park and in the corridors surrounding the school. So it was cool to see that holistic impact. And we also saw that 18 parks were impacted. So even though in the mind map, natural environment ranked a little bit lower in our coding, we still see that parks are getting attention.
Okay, in summary. So some of our key takeaways. I think, there's of course several, and we'll talk about them. But the method that we used, the ripple effects mapping, is a very kind of key takeaway. It can be effective and efficient method to measure the BTT for other city programs. And a key takeaway is for BLIP, for us. We came away really impressed with the Bloomington Leadership Program and what its alums are contributing to the social fabric of Bloomington. And so what we have is that BLIP really builds the human and social capital of Bloomington. And human and social capital plays a pivotal role in harnessing citizen participation, which is a bedrock of a healthy democracy. BLIP builds, fosters, and creates human and social capital for Bloomington, and the BLIP can be an effective pathway to civic participation. It really highlights the themes that we found in the coding of strengthening community, deepening engagement with local government, energizing new leaders, and gaining knowledge, and can be used as a pathway to participate. And along with the BTT, BLIP really helps the city achieve its goal of becoming a welcoming community.
One of the amazing things about the BLIP is that it's the start of something big. In our literature review, we saw this thing called the spiraling up effect, which basically means the more capitals you accumulate leads to more capitals accumulating. So you start one thing and it grows. We're seeing this now. The BLP is doing so much. It's hitting all of the capitals, at least in some way, and it's starting people talking about the city. It is starting a movement, and there's going to be a lot of change now, and it's so exciting. So let's go into the benefits and limitations of ripple effects mapping. There's so many benefits. It is effective, it is efficient, and it's adaptable. We did not get any training. We did meet with Scott Chasden, who is super accessible, which is super awesome. But anyone can do it. The instructions are easy. It's just about facilitation. It can be built upon. So you can take all of the results that we gave you in this mind map and continue expanding it. Like I said previously, we only had 15 participants. And BLIP has so many more people that have graduated. And even the people who haven't and have done a class are making impacts around Bloomington. It can also be adapted. So you don't have to do the 7 community capitals. You can just do the BTT strategic goals. If your plan changes in 5 years and 10 years, you can adapt. You can change those goals, and it still works. It measures markers of community building as well. It can measure anything you want it to measure. You just have to ask the right questions. All right, limitations. Bias. Obviously, who came to the event? How did they share? What questions did we ask that influenced them how they answered? Subjectivity. We coded these. So we obviously are for grad students, so someone else would code them differently. And then time constraints. With any project, you're going to have time constraints. We only had 2 hours to ask all these people what they did, how they impacted their community. And of course, we're also for grad students graduating very soon, hopefully. So we'll have to pass the baton eventually.
Before we get to our recommendations for the city, we do have some recommendations for the Bloomington Leadership Program. Like we said before, we think that the Bloomington Leadership Program really fits well with BTT Objective 1, welcoming community, and we think it's great if it continues to be that way. But if the Bloomington Leadership Program did want to acknowledge Objectives 2 and 3 more, they can do that with their curriculum. They already have a lot of participants that are involved with these 3 capitals. We know one participant started a nonprofit after graduating. And so depending on what capitals they want to give more attention to, they could bring in, for example, for natural capital, they could bring in Sustainability Commission members. They could even bring in the DNR or other state agencies. We also would recommend that they build off of what we've collected using REM and maybe complete this activity every 2 to 3 years. I know that a lot of participants really enjoyed the activity and seeing the impacts, and that's something that they could continue to do. And we do also think it would be great if the program was held twice a year instead of once a year. We realize that that takes more staff capacity and more funding, but it just seems like a really impactful program, and that would reduce barriers to participation. We also will have more recommendations in our report. We got a lot of ideas from the case studies that we did, and so you can look forward to that.
All right, and then we do have recommendations for the city of Bloomington as a whole. We worked with our partners to identify a couple programs within the city that would fit well with ripple effects mapping. And so as a reminder, this is a participatory evaluation method, and that works best with participatory programs. So you kind of practice what you preach, and are able to kind of assess it in the way that the program operates. And so we thought that in the community outreach area, of course, using it for BLIP, but also welcome meals or Students in Government Day. There's a couple recommendations for Parks and Rec, the HRA, and then public safety for the Citizens Academy at the police department, or the school outreach program for the fire department. And then, of course, the city and the city council has many advisory boards and commissions that we think this could be good for, as well as things like your language access plan and other things that would just benefit from having a human-to-human interaction and communication verbally to assess what has happened since the implementation of a certain intervention. And so in addition to that, we recommend that you continue to utilize future capstone groups. And so that could look like either having them use ripple effects mapping in one of these, or since ripple effects mapping won't cover all the programs you have, maybe identifying a different method and evaluation framework that would be better for non-participatory programs or things that could be more quantitatively assessed. And then lastly, budgeting for future evaluation efforts. I know, I work for the government too, so I get it. It's hard. But, looking past the U of M capstone teams, and, seeing this as a priority for the city, just accounting for how will we continue to effectively measure our goals of meeting the strategic plan. Do you want to, make a committee? Do you want to hire a person whose job it is to oversee evaluation of the city and kind of standardize that? Or do you want to outsource it to kind of a third-party contractor who does this type of work? So those are some ideas for the city to kind of percolate on as they start, in their this opportunity to start assessing multiple programs. So thank you, and any questions? Where'd it go? Yay. All right, thank you.
Any questions?
Nobody have a comment? Ooh, outstanding. Very good. I was part of the core strategic planning team and did the vision statement. So what a joy and an honor it is for me to see the follow-up piece of this. That was 2 years ago, I believe, wasn't it, Diane?
Almost.
Yes, almost 2 years ago. So what a joy and an honor to see this city moving forward. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you.
Does this process allow you to capture things like, having been involved, I now seek local resources for services versus going somewhere else? Would that be a type of thing that would be captured in this?
Yeah, so the question was sorry, repeat your
Let me put it into a specific. Let's say I think, oh gosh, I want there to be certain kinds of more restaurants here. Okay, so I'm making sure now to look for local restaurants so I can support them. Something I didn't think of before. It doesn't mean I've necessarily gone to all of them, but my mindset has changed to how can I be more supportive of local so that I can continue to grow local. Does that concept, because I didn't put that on any papers, does that concept get included in this process? Because it's not really a map. It's, how do you do that?
I think the beauty of REM is that you can really put anything into it. It's very based on the questions that you ask. So we asked some questions that were used in the ripple effects mapping literature, but people didn't necessarily have answers that fit perfectly with those. I think one of the nice things is once you see the map and you see how connected everything is and how many impacts you have, you become more focused on Bloomington itself, which is something that we actually noticed after the event. We got coffee and donuts, and we were like, okay, where can we get local donuts? Where can we go local? And so it brings you back, and it gives you a visual reminder of how to go back. Yeah.
Yeah, also kind of on your question of we haven't done it yet, it's more of this idea. I know in the map we had considering joining committees. And so even that, I think we like had a relationship arrow to like gaining confidence. And so, because of that, they were considering these things. Or also maybe, for your example, it could be, prioritizing supporting local organizations or local entrepreneurs. And I feel like that is something that could go in the map, even if hasn't happened yet.
Okay. Yeah. I have a question about like the demographics of the program participants themselves, if that was reviewed and how that might affect the spiral if the demographics were to shift. Is it a good cross section? Does it match the city's demographics? Just on that point.
Do we want to call Amanda up here? I don't know if I could comment on the demographics of Blip, but do we know? Do you know? Yeah, come. Thank you.
Okay, so the demographics of Blip, it was very diverse, but when we have participants, like we can't pick people based on race, right? So, but regarding like experiences and zip code, that was allowed. So, anything to add to that, Emily?
So just based on what I saw in the presentation today, I don't think demographics were part of your process, but we do collect the data, so it certainly could be in the future.
I was just curious if the goal is to engage with different like wards, if you would ever tweak the demographics of who participates, or if that's not allowed, or if, I don't know, I was just curious.
Yeah, so we collect data on zip code, and then race or ethnicity, age group, and then housing status. So do you rent or own your home? And as Amanda said, there's limitations on how you can select participants due to protected classes and those sorts of things. But it does help us see the trends of who's applying, who's participating, and it's certainly something we could consider in the map.
We definitely focus on those zip codes, and we'll look like, okay, who is applying from where, and then if we're seeing like, okay, this isn't enough, like specifically targeting the zip code area.
Yeah, zip code is not a protected class, so that is something where, when you think about the data, the National Citizen Survey data, and welcoming communities, that we know certain zip codes aren't responding as positively, and so that is something we consider very highly in the selection process too.
We talked about how our project changed in scope, and so if we went back a few weeks in trying to understand what we were trying to figure out, it was whether or not there is a gap analysis we could do of this program and its participants, and it became not part of our scope. But one of the things that we really wanted to do and show, and we thought would be really helpful, was the mapping where people are participating, and we thought that would really begin to kind of show where the impacts are happening. And it was, in looking at that, you could see by zip code, oh, these things are happening here mostly. Maybe we should focus on getting folks from this zip code. So it was looking at a bunch of different data and maps in order to kind of see where people are coming from, maybe where more people could come from. Maybe this was part of our recommendation of offering it more, if it could be, if there's some sort of break down barriers so people who have jobs and stuff could participate in this, and it might be drawing from different zip codes.
And I also wanted to add that we will be adding more recommendations for the Bloomington Leadership Program in our report. And one recommendation that I have already from my case study is in Dayton with their leadership program. They actually connect their leadership program to another program within the city called Welcome Dayton that is there to provide resources for immigrants and refugees. So I think that the way the Bloomington Leadership Program can be advertised, you can always be more intentional about who are we marketing this program to, what are some other groups in the city that are more diverse, and how can we be more intentional about bringing in more diverse perspectives into this program.
last thing I have was just a comment. The thing with all the fists, we're really not mean.
There's a lot of dancing involved.
That was us just at a city council meeting. Yeah.
Oh.
Not.
I thought we were talking about a picture. I was like, there's some funny pictures in there.
Yeah.
Sure, I got a question. So now that you've tried this out, are any of the four of you thinking you might want to integrate this into your careers in public affairs?
Scott's hiring.
Well, Scott, currently looking for an internship. I'm going into community engagement, and I've actually been asked to conduct this, facilitate this event at other locations, and it works great. I guess I'm also a visual artist, so this kind of thing, has the key to my heart. I like visual things. I like qualitative analysis because it doesn't regularly get done, and especially in graduate level research, qualitative analysis isn't always considered, and we lose out on such a huge chunk of impacts and vibrance in community programs. So I'll be using it.
Let's figure out what I'm doing.
I'm also being trained to be a facilitator, so that might bias me a little bit.
Speaking of visuals, can we just give Annika a round of applause for how beautiful this PowerPoint was?
Thank you. I've been so sick. It's good. Get your flu shot. Any other questions? There's probably more donuts and coffee and orange juice. Yeah,
I'm just going to add a comment and also mimic what was said earlier as far as great job. Mm-hmm. Bloomington really appreciates the work you guys have offered here, and there's probably 1,000 things that we could have asked or added on to you guys, but the capacity was already so tremendous, and obviously one big part of the recommendation was how are we going to fulfill this gap now that you guys will be gone as far as future projects, capstone projects, and things like that. So really appreciate the work you guys have done and the things that we're going to learn and take away from this and hopefully keep advancing. So thank you guys.
Yes. And just question?
Yeah.
Question?
Yeah, question. Did any of the case study partner agencies request access to this work on the back end?
Yes. Yep. So we're going to consult with them about the final report just to make sure they're being represented well, and they were all very excited about hearing how to evaluate programs. Because from what we saw, none of them had a great evaluation strategy in their back pocket. So. Yep.
Is this going to be available online?
I can make it available.
Are you going to play the pictures again?
I can play the pictures again. I have a whole slideshow full of the same pictures that I'll play as we go out.
We'll send this and the final report to Diane. She will.
And Amanda. Yeah, Amanda will.
Yes.
Amanda will be representing this report at the next alumni gathering. Get ready. I do also want to thank all the blippers that are here. It is a work day on a Monday. My goodness. Yeah, hello. Oh, amazing. You can tell they want to participate. With that, donuts?
Thank you.
Thank you.